Oh, Rep Aries 2.0, you complete me. Just kidding, honey. Every garage gym owner knows that your gym is never complete. But this feels pretty close. This was a massive upgrade from my previous Strangcore guillotine rack, which at the time, I had no clue about the ecosystem around upright or hole size, and frankly, I was stuck with what I had. Don't get me wrong, I love that rack, and it got me through a lot of hard times. It also taught me to be very creative, but it was time to move on, and boy did I. Now with the Rep Aries 2.0, I've got the ability to do lat pull downs, low rows, cable crossovers, and now this has opened up a whole new but expensive world for me, as now I've got access to all of Rep's attachments, as well as any third-party options that are compatible with the 3x3 1-inch hole rack. Things like the GOAT attachment from Stray Dog or the Fringe Sport belt squat lever arm, just to name a few. All in all, I'm grateful for you, and we've got very little complaints. Except for one, my darling. It's not you, it's me. I really wish Rep had done one of two things. Had 5-pound increments, or at least started the stack with a 5-pound plate instead of 10. Now let's be honest, I'm probably being a little nitpicky. And this only affects a handful of exercises, things like reverse flies, lateral raises, and even chest flies, depending on your level of strength. But this sent me on a long, painful journey to find a solution to this heavy starter weight problem. Typically, I'm not one to point the finger or blame others, but in this case, I blame my wife. We were doing reverse flies as part of one of our training sessions, and she was unable to do so without compensating on the lowest weight increment. And this is where my journey begins. So instead of complaining and doing nothing about it, I made it my life's mission to solve this problem. Some of you may think this is a little over the top, borderline crazy. I can't say I blame you. But by this point, I was too far gone. I knew out the gates I had to start by using reverse bands to lighten the load. I started by tying your traditional lightweight resistance bands from the 2.5-pound increment stack at the top. But as you can see, the band was too long, so in the beginning it helps, but once the stack reaches towards the top, the band becomes too loose and stops assisting and becomes unhooked. Then I tried to double band loop it, but then my issue was there was too much help, and in order to keep the stack from coming up, I had to put more weight on, and that defeated the purpose altogether. So back to the drawing board I went. I then used Rep's utility pegs and attached at the top, tied some straps with a carabiner that came from my inertia waves. I then added the lightest Rogue monster bands, but this still was too much resistance. Then I tried to add a second monster band with another carabiner, but once again it was too long and became unhooked. Through this experiment, however, I did figure out that putting on the extra 2.5-pound stack helped weigh the stack down enough to at least not float, so that was progress. Then Stray Dog came with some inspiration. They have the band-resisted stack attachments I saw on their YouTube page. Now this didn't solve my problem, but it helped me realize I needed a short, straight band and not one with a loop. This would allow me to half the resistance, and because of the shorter length, it would help keep the resistance curve more consistent by not pulling the slack out. So what did I do? I went straight to Amazon and found these ankle strap bands that were clearly marketed to women for booty building. And although this is against every grain of my being to support such a trash exercise tool, I was in too deep. So I bought 2 of them. So I could have 2 of each band in order to match the resistance on both sides. I received them a day later, opened them up, threw away the ankle attachments, and went back to work. This had to work, I was going to lose my mind. I attached the Rep band pegs with the inertia wave straps and carabiner. Hooked through one end of the band clip and clipped it with a large carabiner to fit around the weight stack pin, and finally lowered the 2.5-pound stacks to keep it from going weightless. This had all come down to this moment. Was this all for nothing? I stepped back, grabbed the cables, and began doing reverse flies. Eureka! It worked. It was lighter than the 10-pound stack, even with the additional 2.5-pound increment, and both my wife and client have used it and felt the same sensation. I'm no genius, but I think it would be awesome if Rep created some sort of pin resistance band attachment for reverse or resisted tension. Regardless, I had solved the problem plaguing me for weeks, and that felt good. If I can just help one person on YouTube, then I truly think I'm making the gym world a better place. Thanks for watching.